All right, good afternoon. My name is Josh, founder of Vitality Maximized. If you don't know who we are a health and fitness business that uses a bioenergetic approach to maximize your health and vitality. So today we're going to be talking about why the natural health industry and the allopathic medicine industry are both a hit or miss, and how we can solve these problems. Today we are going to just hit on part one of this three-part series. So please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Odyssey as well to watch the full form content. I do strongly suggest that you can follow us on Odyssey so that we can continue to support alternative media and alternatives to YouTube. All right, so today's topic is, why are these industries a hit or miss? So let us explore. So I'm going to all right, so a show of hands to any one of you who have been to numerous health professionals for a number of different health conditions, but you've only gotten marginally better or much worse. A show of hands. Anybody, anyone? Maybe some of you, a lot of you, who knows? How many of you are so lost with so much conflicting information as to what to eat, how much water to drink, and what supplements to take, and really how to be healthy overall? Show of hands. Confused, and too much conflicting advice, paralyzed? Anyone? All right, and then this is an interesting one. How many of you guys think that all these online doctors are quote unquote scams? I've definitely I've heard these ones before. So any one of you think so? Anyone? All right, so I sort of feel for you, and I sort of understand and feel your pain and experiences. They are extremely valid. Not to be very honest, they are very valid. And one thing I always suggest, especially when it comes to your health, is to not give up. Do not give up trying to be the best, healthiest version of yourself. Do not give up or sort of have this sort of death wish that you're always going to have this condition forever. Like your body, they say in the Bible, the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. That's what it says in the Bible. And if you want to contend with that, that's up to you. But it outlines and signifies the importance of taking great care of your body at all levels. All right. So are you ready for a fresh perspective of why these industries are kind of hit or miss, and what we can do, what we can do to address those hit or miss nature? All right, so the first one is why the client is implicated into this discussion. I think it's some people don't like to hold the client accountable, despite the fact that you may have various health conditions and challenges. But all of you having issues, problems, challenges of any kind, you have a part to play. And I'm not trying to be like mean here. This is what I have observed for a good number of years online, how people talk, and even within my own family members and everyone else. All right, so one reason why the client is partly to blame for this mess is this, whether it's conscious or it's subconscious, you're seeking quick fixes and band-aids. And part of it boils down to, the sort of model of health that so encompasses all of the allopathic medicine industry and even the vast majority of the natural health industry. It is that of what we call the diagnose and treat model. So we just look at you with someone with symptoms and we look for the best course of action to alleviate such symptoms, but we don't necessarily balance or revitalize the body at any sort of deep level. This is a very, very rampant issue, not just the allopathic, but even most of the natural health industry. I have a story where I have a friend who, her brother is going through a muscle wasting condition. I call it a muscle wasting condition. I don't quite know the name, and it's been having for 6-7 years now. And within those 6-7 years, the family has put him or found a practitioner who is knowledgeable about adrenal cocktails, right? And so they did go through that regimen of taking adrenal cocktails. For those who don't know what adrenal cocktails are, they're basically a formula, if you want to put it that way, that has a source of sodium, say sea salt, potassium, say coconut water, and vitamin C. Let's say to use a fruit juice, something of that nature, right? And yeah, his problem never really got better, never really made any progress. Obviously we can explore all the reasons why that is the case, but you don't address a muscle wasting condition by revving up the adrenal glands. So I don't know about you, but this is my thought. So that's with the seeking quick fixes and band-aids. Of course, there are many other stories out there, but you get the gist. The next one, which ties into the first reason, being you and the health condition as separate entities. And I hate to break it to you, it ain't. So for these first two reasons that I'm just mentioning right now, to me, it sometimes is a sign that that when you're seeking quick fixes and band-aids, when you think that if you just alleviate this health condition, your life is back to normal in that sense, it's usually a sign that you don't want to face your issues. And it could be your traumas, it could be your limiting beliefs, it could be some of your habits, it could be the fear of failing, the fear of going on a merry-go-round, or the fear of time wasting. It could be anything. Or it could even be maybe you even have a friend that is trying to be all live a healthy lifestyle, be the best healthy version of his or herself, and then you're seeing what the person does and you're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, right? Or something like that. You don't like the idea of how this could manifest if you're the one doing it. And I'm just like, you don't really ask for the questions, you don't ask for the rationale, you're just like looking at it, it's like, eek, you can't be doing this, because you could do it, but I don't really think you'll get that far, suppressing things or not looking to improve yourself. That's me. I don't know about you, but that's me. And then the third one, which which I think is pretty rampant now, but it's slowly decreasing. I'll say slowly, is that the self-responsibility aspect has been outsourced. It could be outsourced to me, could be outsourced to, a licensed physician, it could be outsourced to a naturopathic doctor or a naturopath or whoever it is. It's outsourcing that responsibility that you have to, take more care of your body, right? Because let's be honest with you, we don't have all the answers. Real talk, we don't have all the answers at all. So this, and I think one of the reasons why there's this large outsourcing of self-responsibility comes from, used to say it, the cult of credentialism. And this is what I mean by the cult of credentialism. So whether societal or all of that, we're made to believe that, because somebody spent a lot of years in school, an undergrad and then medical school and even a residency, if you want to add it, right, that more of school means more expertise. And I hate to break it to you, it ain't. Unless someone isn't, challenging the things that they are getting taught in school and deploying some level of critical thinking, right, the much that is really happening is indoctrination. And I don't mean to be crude to any doctor or licensed physician who went through all of this, and because not every one of you is like this. But what's my point is that as the client, you need to understand that you can't outsource self-responsibility to somebody else, because you'll be thrown by the winds of somebody else. And and also everyone who is watching this, I've seen a couple of doctors say this quite out loud, and whether it's in a blog or in a video. But one of the things that is important to note is that your doctor's first priorities are always the licensing board, the state regulations, and the insurance company that pays them. So let me repeat that again. Your doctor's first priorities are their licensing board and insurance company, and also state regulations. You are not the first priority when you are dealing with a licensed physician, especially if they're working through large hospitals and insurance companies. And so, this is the reality, folks. So we need to brace up. And why this, and part of why this is the case is that I did a little research. I went to the American Medical Association. I found that about 1 in 3 physicians has had a lawsuit filed against them, right, at some point in their careers. And for those who are 55 years or older, at least half the physicians have been sued before. And so what this is basically saying is that they all make mistakes, or maybe they're not even making mistakes, you're doing the right things, but you just really end up getting worse, because as I mentioned earlier, there is the whole industry, especially the allopathic medicine industry, and a bit less so the naturopathic or the natural health, dehumanizes the whole process. All they just think is how to get symptom relief from a health condition, and they don't really think further than that, right? And moving on, and I also wanted to say that 88% of the medical liability trials, so all the trials, if you sue a licensed physician, right, as long as the physician follows the, oh wait, I want to say that almost 7 of 8 of medical liability trials are won by the sued physician, or in legal terms, the defendant. So this is a clear and obvious note that as long as a licensed physician follows the rules, and they usually do not lose a court case, right? Because whether they've inadvertently harmed you, or they acted out of extreme ignorance. So this is really the reality, and this is why they obviously do not get much of a good sentiment, generally speaking. So no matter the legalese regarding the licensed and unlicensed, there is absolutely no guarantee at all, and I'll say this again, no guarantee that because they've been given the label that they could diagnose, prescribe, cure, and treat a pathological symptom, right, that they're able to do so, right? You can't escape taking responsibility for your own health. So next time when you fall ill and you're a bit under the weather, right, think twice before you reach out for a Tylenol or acetaminophen. Gosh, can't pronounce for my life. Acetaminophen. Gosh, forgive me. Real talk, forgive me. So this, so I just wanted to talk, just to summarize the outsourcing self-responsibility. All right. The next point is sometimes, okay, some of you've escaped the allopathic crusade, and you've now ventured somewhere to try and seek help or get solutions. And at times when you find a practitioner or somebody like that, and you're having certain blips or negative reactions or symptoms, that it is a sign to quit. Sometimes it might be, but other times it is usually not. So I'm going to give a little analogy. I'm sure most of you at least spend some time reading motivational books or reading motivational videos or quotes, and you invest some of your time into the personal development or self-improvement industry. People like Tony Robbins, or I know of Tony Robbins, right? So I think almost all of them, any really decent individual in the space, will tell you that in life we would like to be in this upward trajectory all the time, but in reality it doesn't happen that way. It just doesn't. No matter our best intentions, no matter how well thought out you plan and execute your life. So there are going to be highs, going to be some lows. You might have some what's it called, like steady ship, like you're not moving forward or moving backward, right? Or you'll get lots of blips and all of that stuff. So just like you learn this in when people talk about life, right, this also applies to your health. You're recovering from your health and maximizing your health and vitality It's not a straight upward trajectory, right? I'm going to be honest here, the best practitioners or the best people in this space understand that, health, restoring your health and vitality is usually you make some progress, you might dip, you might steady ship a little bit, you might make some progress, you might have some really like testing times, right? And all of that stuff. This boils down to a very important concept of healing called retracing, because and I'll just make this comment here that without the body retracing old patterns, old traumas, old metabolisms, the body does not go through true and deep healing. And this is real talk. If you want to contest with me with that, I'm very more than happy to respond to such. So I'll give you a story. I have a friend of mine who talked to me a little bit about his journey, right? Some of his with his health and healing journey, right? I remember last year he had like a massive he's been like quite a good number of years doing nutritional balancing, mineral balancing, the things that some of the services I offer with somebody else, and he went through a massive like blockage, congestion on his abdomen, right? It was affecting his liver, his abdomen. He couldn't really get about too much. The only things that really helped him at the time was doing a form of meditation called the pulling down meditation, and spending time in nature. So by nature he went to the beach or something. Whenever he was in his home, and obviously with all the electronics and electromagnetic radiation, like it sort of made some of his issues worse, or made some of that like sensations or symptoms worse. Sorry. And then he stuck with it. I don't necessarily know what changes he made, but he stuck with it. He didn't like quit, he didn't give up, he didn't do anything like that. And now I think he now has a new lease of life. By a new lease of life, he's escaped from certain patterns that he's had for years. One of those patterns is called a 4 lows pattern. I'm not really going to go too much into it, but it pays to understand that sometimes within a very testing period, right, there's usually a breakthrough right around the corner. So blips and negative experiences are not a sign to quit. Not always a sign to quit. Alright, the last point is this: doing too much of a good thing. So some of you might really go deep into the natural health industry, and maybe you come across someone who, let's say, challenged the medical establishment. A good example is Dr. Nicholas Gonzalez, or Dr. Bernard Jensen. There are different names out there. However, I'm going to give an example of something that I read at one point in time. So there's been a lot of criticism, especially within the mainstream medicine, that has about coffee enemas. And for those who don't know what coffee enemas are, long and short, is putting something up your bum. It's putting coffee up your bum. But there's a lot more to it than just that. But that's not the point of discussion. So, one of the and I'll give you the links for you to see, like some of the criticism that they had of coffee enemas and Dr. Jensen and all of that stuff, right? And one of them was that, coffee enemas causes seizures, electrolyte imbalances, blah blah blah, and they gave us we call it a case story of one individual who did a lot of coffee enemas and ended up, having a seizure and passing away. I read through the whole, the whole case study or the case story, right? And I also read bits of Dr. Jensen's book, Cancer Results of 50 Cases. In his book, he explicitly said that no one should do more than one coffee enema every 4 hours, right? However, this lady or individual who was going through a certain health condition, I don't recall at this time what it was, but I'll put the link and everything that I watched and found, or I saw that and found. She was doing, if I'm not wrong, one coffee enema every 2 hours. So that means she as good as doubled the amount of coffee enemas that she did so that she could try and rectify a health condition, right? And she purposely ignored, the help that she was even getting in the first place. Although she instinctively thought that the help she was getting was not even good enough in the first place, So what happened was that within I think it was over a period of a week or a couple of days, and then there was a point where she started developing more issues, and then the next day she now had she had a seizure, and then sadly passed away. So it's an unfortunate event, but the point of what I'm trying to say is that doing too much of a good thing way out of proportion is not recommended. You need to, for those who have health conditions and all of that, you always need to work alongside a professional. Always work alongside a professional. Always have someone guide you. You can't do everything yourself. You can do most things yourself, but you can't do everything yourself. It pays to have supervision and direction. It pays. It can reduces the amount of waste that occurs in your life. Real talk. So this concludes the 5 reasons why the client is usually part of the whole mess, the whole hit or miss nature of the allopathic and natural health medicine industry. So in part 2, we are going to be talking about why this industry is a hit or miss, but instead on the physician side, on the professional side. And so with you, the client, you can learn and spot signs that this physician is not up to standard. We will get into that in the next video, but again, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family, and and this is Josh from Vitality Maximize. We do offer what we may call mineral balancing programs. We go really deep and comprehensive into you as an individual and how we can maximize your health and vitality in a more of a natural way. All right, we are doing a massive discount right now, a real massive discount of about we're charging $125 per mineral balancing consultation, which includes the hair analysis and the consult, what to do, free support, free resources to make use of, right? And then and if you don't want to go through that, we also offer health coaching sessions. So I call them coaching and support. It's also massively discounted. It's 50% off right now up until 1st of November 2023. And we if you're needing help or a challenge or something like that to help you move in a healthier direction, this is the program to help you move forward. Anyway, my name is Josh. Thank you for listening to this. Goodbye. God bless. See you soon for part 2.